This is Secrets to Win Big, your roadmap to sustained growth. Brought to you by Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. Find him at zenmango.com. And now, here's your host, Arjun Sen.
Recently, I asked 10 people a very simple question. Who do you trust? In most cases, the answer was very simple. It either started with God or the person's significant others. In some cases, it was a best friend or children. But nobody talked about this one new entity, which is very strongly entering our trust circle. Before I share about what this entity is, let me take you through a few situations which you face, I think, quite regularly. Imagine you're in a Zoom call and you really have to have these side conversations with maybe a family member, and you press the mute button. And the moment you see the line over the microphone, you blindly trust Zoom cannot hear what you're saying. Then you decide conversation. But think, if the mute button was not working, it not only will be a disaster, but it could be a career limiting move based on the call you're on. The same way, when you click on the stop video button and the screen goes blank and there's a red line on the camera button at the bottom left, you are 100% assured you're invisible. You start doing strange things like scratching your head, things you would never do on camera. I just did those, sorry. But what is important is that we have all put ourselves in a position where we have started blindly to trust technology in all aspects of our life. And as we start getting into this trust, I realize that sometimes blind trust does not work in our favor. I'll give you an example. I sent this very important email to my client, and this client never responded back. A few days later, when I was talking to her on a call, she explained to me that she never got the email. It was bizarre. It was, in my sent mail. It was not in her spam. I have no clue what happened. That's the time I realized that my job was not to press the send mail button, but to make sure the client actually got it. I was expecting technology to do the part in the middle, but when technology failed me, I did not have a backup. So if you pause for a second and start reflecting, that technology is there to make our life better. But however good it can be and is, it can fail at times. And as we are blindly moving technology in our life and allowing it to be in our circle of trust, and trust happens usually blindly, let me just compare how trust works with human beings. My wife trusts me because I have earned it. And there are a few aspects of trust. One is competence. It is my competence to live her trust is very important. Secondly, it has to be continuously, over time, consistently. That consistency and continuously is incredibly important. I cannot be competent once. It has to be always. And the final dimension of trust is loyalty, which again translates into me putting her interest first always. Now, with technology, I want to ask you three questions. Even though technology is becoming very convenient for us, it's that convenience that gets us. Have we checked, number one, the competence of technology? Secondly, have we checked if it consistently is ready to deliver on that? And thirdly, are they putting our personal interest first? And I think only after those three yeses happen, we should trust technology fully. For example, right now, if you open any app and they ask you the question about the cookie options, whether we can track you always when you use the app or never. If you choose never, how do you know the app is not actually going to track you? Wouldn't you feel better if you got an assurance from time to time from the app by saying, we are not tracking, we don't know where you are, we don't know what you're doing? So now let us look from the other side. If you're a technology provider and your clients are starting to trust you, it puts you in a very unique position. First and foremost, you should really celebrate that you have earned the position to be trusted. But next instant, you must understand that this position puts you in a position of responsibility to be confident. Competence is the first and most important thing. Second, to deliver consistently always. And finally, to put your customers' interest first. And it would also help from time to time if you reassure, and the example I gave on the app is, we are not tracking you. So that way they are relieved, which is beyond assurance, that technology works for us. Now, as we talked about at the beginning of this, the trust circle, which earlier had only God or spouses, children, best friends, family members, now technology is entering this. And as it is entering, I really think it is going to stay, which means both us and technology needs to take little responsibility. Number one, I would ask you, do you know, before you trust technology blindly, is your technology accountable to you? And accountability is, number one, competence. Number two, consistently always being there. And number three, putting you first. And now you flip. If you are technology and your technology that you're offering to your customers, how can you live up to the ever increasing trust? Customers are showing that they are ready to trust you, but now it is technology's turn to step up. And in each case, answer the question, how do we live the trust customers are bestowing on us? It's delivering accountability with competence consistently every time is critical. Just remember, trust is very delicate. Trust is very fragile, because once you lose trust, it can't ever be earned back.
You've been listening to Secrets to Win Big with Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. To learn more, visit www.zenmango.com. Share this podcast with your friends and subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts.